Welcome to the Basics of Diablo 3, the game that keeps you wondering, was that one item worth 4 hours of my time? Diablo 3 is a grinding game that not just only has one character to waste your life on, but you can do it with 6 characters multiple times. Seeing that I'm that no life that spent at minimum 100 plus hours on each hero, I thought, hey, I could use that knowledge to help the people that do have lives and could actually sleep at night. So with that in mind, let's get started with the classes themselves. The Barbarian's a warrior-based hero that thrives in doing damage and tanking it using strength and gains fury doing so. The Crusader is a purifier-based tank using strength and does the same thing with wrath. Demon Hunter is a marksman-based hero that relies on dexterity and has 2 resources to be offensive and defensive. The 4th hero, being the Monk, is up close and personal, utilizing dexterity and uses Spirit for skills. The Witch Doctor uses both the undead and the power of spirits to destroy and manipulate enemies, benefiting from intelligence and using mana. The Wizard is a mage class that casts spells that are both offensive and defensive, using intelligence and uses arcane power for skills. Last priority stat is Vitality that works with all heroes, which gains your health, and every point of Vitality gives you 100 health. Getting out of the way, next thing we have are skill layouts. Skill layouts go as follows. Primary attacks, which are basic abilities that almost always will give you resource. Secondary abilities give basic spells that most of the time cost resource. Defensive abilities that help you either take damage or heal from it. Utility spells that can give you either crowd control or have support against enemies. Or abilities that give passive and active benefits to you and your allies. Finally, ultimate abilities that give either massive increases of damage or do a significant amount of damage to enemies. Next section we have are passive skills. These passives can vary between doing more damage to certain skills, decreasing damage, and everything in between. To have more customization, pause the game, go to options, and select gameplay. Make sure you have the elective mode box checked. It will allow you to put your skills wherever you want instead of being limited to one of each kind of skill. You can have all basic skills, all ultimate skills. It's not going to be useful, but whatever. Even with this check, some types of skills won't let you have more than one of each kind, but that is very rare. Good, all the skill descriptions are out of the way. Next thing we go over is item layouts, which are just as long. Item layouts for each hero go as follows. Head, arms, shoulders, chest, legs, boots, bracers, ring slots, amulet slot, weapon slot, and offhand slot. You can get items for killing enemies, destroying objects in the game, or get them crafted by the blacksmith. The blacksmith lets you repair items for a price, salvage useless items for extra materials, and use that materials to make weapons and armor. The materials are made from certain levels of rarity. Basic ones are reusable parts. Magical dust is magical parts. Vialed crystals is a rare material. Death Dance are for special items obtained killing golden enemies or purple highlighted enemies. And Forgotten Souls uses legendary materials. Starting off with items are your weapons. The weapon is the majority of your damage, and the damage is decreased based on how much of your main attribute you have. For instance, if you're a Crusader and you get a weapon that does 1000 damage and you have 1000 strength, that will give you 1000% increase to damage, doing 10,000 damage instead of 1000. With this in mind, each skill does damage depending on the percent weapon damage. So a skill doing 500% of your weapon damage will do 50k damage every time you use it. Some items also have damage on them, being rings, amulets, and some offhand weapons, but with those, they're pretty good. Continuing with the segment of stats on items, let's see what you can get besides damage. I'll go through these quickly. Attack speed makes you attack faster. Crit chance will give you a chance to do more damage, while crit strike will factor the extra damage. Armor will let you take less damage. Resist all will increase your resistance for each kind of damage. Damages being physical, poison, fire, cold, lightning, and arcane/holy damage. Yes, they're the same thing. Fuck off. These resistances could also be acquired individually into secondary priorities of every item. Life percent will increase your maximum life. Life regeneration will give you life over time, while life on hit will give you life every time you hit someone. Percent movement speed make you move faster.
Wow, what are the odds of that?
Cooldown reduction will let you spam abilities faster. Thorns will let you do damage to whoever does damage to you. Reduce resource cost makes you cost less resource. Still wondering why I have to explain all these when they're so fucking simple. Area damage will give you a 20% chance to do a percent area damage. No, you cannot factor the chance to do it. Other stats are either regeneration for resource, the resource itself, or increased damage to a certain ability or a certain damage type. The last stat I will explain are sockets that allow you to have gems, which give certain benefits depending on what gem you put and where you put them. The same kind of gems are combined together to make better gems, up to a flawless royal gem, which have to find the materials. These gems can also be used as materials to make rings and amulets at the jeweler station. The basic gems go as follows. Rubies give either damage in weapons, experience in helmet, or strength in other items. Emeralds give you crit damage in weapons, gold fine in helmets, and dexterity in other items. Topazes will give thorns damage in weapons, reduce resource cost in helmets, and intelligence in other items. Amethyst will give life per hit on weapon, percent max life in helmet, and vitality in other items. Diamonds give extra damage to elites, cooldown reduction in helmet, and resist all in other items. Jesus. For solo players, we have the followers. Before you ask, no one now follows on Twitter and Twitch, but each of mine will be in the description. Hashtag shameless plug. For followers, we have the Templar, the Scoundrel, and Enchantress. The Templar benefits from strength and has support and tank-based stats. The Scoundrel benefits from dexterity and is very useful for giving long-range support and extra stats for attacking. And the last follower, the Enchantress, relies on intelligence and giving crowd control and extra stats for both damage and damage reduction. Followers also have their own layout of items and skills and are best suited for the class that relies on the same attribute they do. It won't destroy you for using a follower that doesn't rely on the same attribute, but it's more recommended to help you. Next, we have Hellfire utilities that let you craft legendary items that give obtained from portal devices. These devices let you face advanced bosses and reward the Hellfire materials. These things can be found in killing the dark blue champions in areas of each act where the area has a key icon next to it. Bounty materials you get from completing all the quests in an act and lets you collect a bounty cache which has the stuff in it. Having all the materials explained, you are ready now to do rifts, which is your main place for grinding. There are two kinds of rifts, the Nebulum rifts and the Greater rifts. The Nebulum rifts make main goals to fill the rift bar by killing enemies and collecting orbs dropped by champions. There is no time limit and you can still get items the same way you would for regular levels. When it is full, you will face a Rift Guardian, basically a boss. The Guardian will drop materials for all tiers, including Death's Breath and Forgotten Souls, items of all tiers, and even legendary items. But the biggest thing you will get are Greater Rift Keys, which will give you one passage to the Greater Rift. The difficulty of Greater Rifts are labeled based on Torment difficulty. Simply put, levels 30 to 34 is Torment 7, then levels 35 to 39 is Torment 8, and so on. When you go into the Greater Rift, it is the same as a Nebulum Rift, but with a few differences. There is the time limit, and if you don't finish in the time, you will fail the Rift. Units and objects killed will not drop items or materials, but killing the Rift Guardian will give you a much higher chance to get legendary items and a lot more rare equipment. As well as call down a goddess that will give you a chance to level up a legendary gem. A legendary gem is a certain gem you can put in your 2 rings and amulet slot, meaning you only have 3 legendary gems equipped at a time, that give you certain benefits. At level 25, the legendary gem will give extra benefits, while at the same time increasing the benefits of the same passive it has. The final item you need to get started is Kanai's Cube, which is located in the Eternal Woods when you fast travel to the ruins of Secheron, whatever the fuck it's called. First, you must talk to Zoltan Kuhl in base and he will give you the objective to retrieve it. You have to do this on adventure mode because you can't do it in campaign. There you will look around in Eternal Woods to find it on a pedestal where a spirit will wait for you to grab it. After Zoltan Kuhl talks shit about the spirit and the people guarding it, Kanai's Cube is usable for you and everyone in your party. Yes, if one person grabbed in your party, all 4 of you will be able to use it. That's why it's usually recommended for you to do everything with a party of 4, so you have everyone to do it instead of, doing it separately. With the cube, as long as you have the materials needed, you'll be able to do many things with it. For instance, with each bounty material, as explained before, in Death's Dance, you can extract the legendary item for your choice to have on you at all times. For a limited to having 1 weapon or offhand passive, 1 armor passive, and 1 jeweler passive, being either rings or amulets. You can also make rare items into legendary items, needing 50 basic, magic, and rare materials, and 25 Death's Breath. Seeing that one champion at a certain difficulty will only draw 1 Death's Breath, you're going to be going through a lot of them. Converting a material into another, adding a legendary passive to an item on what legendary gem you use, and re-roll a legendary item with 5 of each bounty material and 50 Forgotten Souls. 50 Forgotten Souls! What the fuck? Seeing that for each legendary item you salvage will only give you 1 Forgotten Soul, you will go through a lot of them. The joke about 4 hours of grinding is more of a reality than a joke, now I think about it. The last thing we have is getting to level 70 as soon as possible. Reason being, everything you get under 70 is outclassed by simply something requiring level 70 to use. Easiest way to do it is to get a party of 4, as explained before, Put rubies in your helmet and your weapon to obtain Leorc's crown in Act 1. The crown's passive gives almost double benefits for whether they're socketed into your helmet. So the experience bonus obtained from socketing a ruby into your helmet will double that bonus. With that, rushing as much damage as possible on a decent difficulty, you get level 70 for you and 3 others in your party in a few hours. You could do that, or be the scumbag that gets someone to boost you to 70 in 10 minutes. Thanks, Andy and David. I sound so spoiled. On the bright side, now I am level 70 and set for the season, I can help other people to do the same thing. I will be doing that on my stream, which will be in the description, same as before, since YouTube ads make me the equivalent of a sweatshop worker in China. You take China. Even so, I will be making an analysis for each class because if you think this is long, then holy shit, you haven't seen nothing yet. Let me know how this helped you guys and girls in the comments below, and tell me which class to start with because I have no fucking clue. With this in mind, I'm the Strategist. Thanks for letting me share my knowledge, and happy grinding. I'll see you in the next one.